So today I'm going to show you a quick way to make upcycled seed starters out of plastic bottles. Yes, that's right, we're back at it again, making things out of plastic bottles. So first and foremost, you're going to want to gather your supplies. This one is pretty easy and you don't need all of these things, but the basics really start with some plastic bottles and some thread or yarn. You can use recycled yarn, you can use fishing wire, whatever your heart desires, as well as scissors and a hole punch. You should make sure it's a single hole punch because using a 3-hole punch would be difficult for this. The clothes drying rack is totally optional, but this is what I'm choosing to hang some of these from. So you're going to want to start by removing the labels and caps from the bottles. Don't throw away the caps because we're going to be needing them later, and I'll show you what exactly for. So just put them off to the side for now while you remove all of the labels and throw those away because you're definitely not going to need those. Once you're done with that, what you're going to want to do is take each of your plastic water bottles and cut them in half, or cut at least 1/4 of them off. I prefer to do it in half because I feel like they just sit better when you connect them, and I'm going to show you how you're going to do that to avoid overwatering your little seedlings. So you're going to take your bottle and cut it in half, and then take your top half of the bottle and flip it inside of your bottom half, and then punch a hole on each side. This is super simple. You really can't mess this up. Once you've punched your hole, you can add the yarn, thread, string, whatever you're using, and just put it through the hole, and then pull both of the ends up to meet at the top and tie a knot. You can cut these to whatever length you want them to hang, but just make sure that when you're measuring your length, you multiply it by 2 so that way you account for the length on both sides of your hanging planters. Once you tie your knot at the top, you're basically just going to have a big loop that you can pull the planter through just like so, and it's gonna sit and hang from wherever you want to hang it from, just like that. Well, maybe like, yep, just like that. Did you catch all that? So again, you're going to take your bottle, cut it in half, flip the top half, put it into the bottom half, and then punch a hole on each side with your single hole punch. Thread your fabric, hanging material, string, yarn, whatever doodad you're choosing to use through the top, tie a knot, and loop it through. I'll let you watch it again a few more times. Now, when it comes to filling up your containers, you can just go ahead and add the dirt if you'd like, or you can go back to taking your bottle caps and adding a little hole at the bottom so that way you create a drainage hole. This is definitely a part that you're going to want to exercise caution with because it's kind of sort of easy to have a unhappy accident with your scissors while you are puncturing these holes in the bottle caps, but I recommend laying it on a flat hard surface and then just taking one end of your scissors and puncturing the bottle cap. You can try to use the 3-hole punch, but my 3-hole punch doesn't have that kind of ability to get through there. And of course, you're more than welcome to just not do the bottle caps at all, but I prefer to have the dirt all stay in place and then have a nice drainage hole as well. If you're looking for something a little bit different than the bottle cap on the bottom for a drainage hole or to allow for drainage, you could also add some small pebbles or river rocks to your seed starters as well before you add your dirt. If you add the dirt without these, there is the chance that you're going to have the dirt fall through, and you don't want to really lose your seedlings, but it really just depends on what you end up planting in these, so just be mindful. As soon as I started getting these set up and ready to go, Violet immediately moved into position with filling these up with dirt, so she definitely had a blast doing that. I recommend putting the dirt in and giving it a light watering before you add your seedlings, but you're definitely welcome to do what works best for you and what works best for what you're planting in these as well. If you end up leaving these outside like we did, they will eventually catch the rainwater, which will drain down into the reservoir at the bottom, so you won't have to really worry about overwatering your seedlings or them getting too much. We went ahead and planted a bunch of wildflower mixes and some zinnias inside of ours, so I can't wait for those to bloom because zinnias are some of my favorite flowers. We decided that a good place to hang these would be on our porch for a little bit until they get started and need to be moved into a larger container. Fortunately, we could just kind of swing these on there and swing them off as the time comes. And because we happened to use yarn, we were able to make a fun candy cane-like alternating pattern with our planters as we hung them up. So that was definitely an added bonus of using the yarn. And then they fill with now we get something growing. Get some stuff growing in there too. Right here. Let us know in the comments below if this is something that you would try. And thanks for watching.